Daniel.
My name is Michelle.
Laura Martinez, Carla Rivera, Suleiman Reyes, Kristen Malafi.
Yeah, and we have our presentation. It's on health and awareness. So, first slide. What is health? Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. That's a quote from the World Health Organization. Pretty much what health is it's not only a physical state. It's not, if you're not categorized as being healthy as, for having a six-pack or your muscles, being ripped. You can be healthy and still have a little bit of, flat. I guess you can say. For humans, physical health means a good body health, which is healthy because of regular physical activity. So if you exercise, I know for little kids they have an initiative, Play 60. They do 60 minutes a day. Good nutrition, eat healthy. You know how they have the little apple slices at McDonald's? Yeah, eat healthy and have adequate rest, get enough sleep. That's very important. About 6 to 8 hours of sleep every day.
Good health. Good health is when you maintain your body homeostasis. Your temperature is at 98, 6 Fahrenheit. Your blood pressure is 120, and your sugar level is 70 slash 150 milligrams. You just want to make sure that everything is checked. Go to the doctor, check yourself. And that's it.
So that health, it causes problems for you, such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, early death, and hypertension. And children ages 6 to 11 in the U.S. who are obese and the percentage of that has increased by 7% from 1980s to nearly 20 a few years back in 2008. And similarly, the percentage of adolescents from 12 to 19, obesity has increased from 5 to 18% over the same period. And this has increased with the factors like more fast food chains and the fact that fats and which are junk foods are the cheapest and most easiest things for us to eat, and we always tend to go to the fats.
Obesity. Obesity is an excess proportion of total body fat. A person is considered obese when his or her weight is 20% or more above the normal weight. The most common measure of obesity is the body mass index of BMI. A person is considered overweight if his or her BMI is between 25 and 29. A person is considered obese if his or her BMI is over 30. So just saying like the percentage of how are you considered obese. Obesity occurs when a person consumes more calories than he or she burns. Like for a fact, like if you are a person who are always sitting down and you don't do exercise, that's how the fat is stored in your body and you get fatter and fat because you do exercise.
When we researched, we found a story of Renee when she had obesity. She was a mother too, and she struggled with food all her life. And by the time she was age 24, she weighed 500 pounds. And in 2003, a car crash left her badly injured. And for the next 40 years, Renee was bedbound, and her weight peaked at a dangerous 900 pounds. She says that she has to be helped with everything. She can brush her own teeth, comb her hair in half, and she has to have everything brought to her. So that means like since she's overweight, she can't do anything by herself. Like she can do some things, but it's kind of hard for her because with all that weight she has.
then like they made her do a surgery, but she ended up dying. She couldn't survive it.
Okay, so if we want to establish a good health, first of all, we need to have a high self-esteem, because if you look at yourself in the mirror and you go like, oh my God, I'm worth nothing, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm too skinny, that's like the first thing you have to think about. Exercise to release stress. I know we're all college students, we're just starting to discover the new world of college, being independent. So sometimes it's good to like just walk a mile or just like exercise for 20 minutes to like release your stress levels. Sleep and wake up at the same time, like try to sleep your 8 hours. That's fundamental for good health. One thing that we all do is eating heavy meals like before bedtime, like a plate of rice, beans, Hispanics, no, that's bad. Try to eat like an apple, drink water, a lot of water, have fun, smile, and enjoy life. I mean, that's what college is about.
Mental health. Mental health refers to people's cognitive and emotional well-being. A person who enjoys good mental health does not have an eating disorder.
That's true.
Determinants of health. The health of individual people and their communities are affected by a wide range of contributory factors. Where we live, the state of our environment, genetics, our income, our education level, our relationship with friends and family.
Anorexia is a common eating disorder. It is a desire to lose weight without caring about the risk or getting hurt. Mostly common among women. 1 out of 6 women in the United States suffer from anorexia. The 2 types of anorexia are restricting and purging.
Like my peers said about anorexia, the 2 types of anorexia are restricting and purging. Restricting means 2 types that you are always continuing to watch your calories, like you don't want to eat more than, let's say, 100 calories in your meal. And you guys, like anorexic people take like drastic diets and they fast a lot. And purging means using substances and diuretics, like to go to the bathroom and vomit a lot. Those are the 2 types of anorexia.
Signs of anorexia: obsessions with body size and shape, skipping meals, refusal to eat, and fatigue, extreme weight loss, and dry skin. Like if you see someone that has these symptoms, you should call for help. Because like you wouldn't want them, like, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't want them something happen to them and then you see it but you don't say anything. And teeth loss and kidney failure.
Exercise is the activity of requiring physical effort and improving an individual's health. It strengthens muscles and is a stress reliever, as my group member mentioned earlier.
As my group member was saying, exercise is not only physical, it also helps you with mental health. There are 3 levels of exercise. There's light, moderate, and vigorous. Light exercise is when you're walking with a friend and you're having a casual conversation. Moderate is when you're going up a hill and it's like, okay, give me a breath, hi, how are you doing? And rigorous is when you cannot speak at all, when you're pushing to your limit, or if you're lifting heavy weights. How long to exercise? With busy schedules, it is hard to say how long it is to exercise. It depends on what goal the individual wants to complete, the level of exercise, and so on. The recommended time is at least 20 minutes, 3 days out of the week. Within those 20 minutes, the health benefits reduce stress, reduce chances of diseases, weight loss, and so on. There's also a recommended time of 30 to 60 minutes, 3 days out of the week for toning and weight loss.
Alright, so we have the fundamentals of fitness. Alright, so the first thing is discipline. You have to keep a schedule. You have to be on top of your schedule. If you say, every morning I'm gonna wake up at 7 in the morning and jog for 2 miles, you have to be very disciplined and make sure that you stay on top of that schedule. Make it a routine, which is the second point. You have to be very determined. If you set up a goal, you say, by the time spring comes around, I want to lose 15, 20 pounds. You have to, be determined, because there's going to be times where it's going to be like, oh no, it's been 3 weeks and I've lost 5 pounds, and you want to give up. But no, you have to keep going. Make sure you diet well. It's not just getting a snack wrap from McDonald's. That's not dieting well. You have to actually look at what you're eating, making sure you choose some whole grain food, something that's healthy for you, so organic foods. Make sure you get checkups from the doctor. Doctor's appointments are very important because they know things about your body that you don't know. So if you see something that isn't regular or that just wasn't there, or like for example, if there's something on your skin, anything that could raise an alarm or a flag, make sure you go to the doctor and get a checkup. And the last one is just push yourself to the limit. Everybody has their own limits. When you go to the gym, don't, let's say you have a partner, don't try to push yourself to your partner's limit. You have your own limit, you have your own boundary. You have to push, so just be at your own pace, but make sure you're determined so you're successful.
How to eat healthy. An individual has to approach it with a positive attitude. Small, gradual changes work just as well for both your comfortable and your health. A great suggestion is to eat slower, and people who eat slowly tend to consume fewer calories and weight loss. Drink water whenever possible. Water helps hydrate your body and speeds up the process of building calories. Practicing moderation and paying attention to portion size is a great benefit as well to avoid overeating. Simple switches to eating whole grain, getting fat-free or low-fat products, eating sources of protein, and watching the sodium content of food will help an individual overall diet health for themselves.
Basic diet. Basically, it's kind of like how we've all learned, like as kids, like a little triangle with the, what foods, how many portions you should be eating and stuff. That's basically what this is. You should be eating about 5 portions of fruits and vegetables, and they can be like canned, frozen, dry. Like if you have pure juices, it can count as like fruit maybe, and beans also. And it's best to have a wide variety. Like if someone really likes broccoli, that's wonderful and it's healthy, but it's important to also add that variety, and what you're eating, it benefits you better. And as far as starches, you should be eating 5 portions as well, and that includes cereals, pasta, rice, potatoes, and then dairy, of course, milks and cheeses, 2 to 3 servings, and that it kind of depends on as far as the serving, how big they should be. It depends on how concentrated whatever it is that you're eating is. And then the meats includes, of course, any meat, fish, poultry, or eggs. And it's best when you're using meat, to trim off the visible fat. And when you're cooking, and then that oil lifts to the top, don't mix it up in the sauce. Pour it out, bring it out. That's not good. And also there are non-meat sources that can also help you with your protein, such as nuts, tofu, and kidney beans. And then fish, of course, as we all know, fish is really healthy. It has omega-3 and 6, and that helps balance your hormone levels, which then leads to decreasing any joint inflammation and stuff, and also it benefits elastic connective tissue, which basically means kind of your skin, so it helps with that. And then the fats, but don't overdrink. And then, like, as far as your meals, like breakfast, I know, like, my mom is one of the people who would be like, no, I don't want to eat breakfast or whatever. Or you'll make some kind of excuse, I don't have time, or I'm not hungry, but it is the most important meal. So, basically, like, if you, like, one of your excuses is, like, you're too busy. Like, maybe, like, the night before, kind of have an idea of what you're going to have for breakfast, kind of, like, prepare it before, like, something simple. You can do that. If you're not hungry, then just try, like, at least like a cup of pure juice. You can try a small fruit or yogurt, like something that will give your metabolism like a kickstart, which is very important. And breakfast can include, of course, cereals or fruit salads. Like, as far as cereal, it shouldn't be the ones like full of sugar that we normally eat. But like, if you like, you know, are tempted to like add sugar on your cereal, like you might want to try like to add maybe like a fruit, and it'll add like its own like natural like, sweetness to it. And you should be using like skim milk or 2% milk, which is best. And then as far as the fruit salad, you know, it could be any of your favorite fruits you can think of, and you don't have to just eat it like as a whole fruit. You can make a smoothie, you can make, you know, add it into your yogurt or whatever. You can like kind of change it up. And then as far as dinner, that's another thing. Like, you'll just go home, it'll be like a last minute thing, or you won't even go home to make dinner. You'll stop for it. Like, dinner, you want to kind of also have an idea and like plan for it. That way, when you do go to the store, you can know what exactly you're looking for that can benefit your health diet. And so you want to like also do a variety of that, like with skinless chicken or like different vegetables. And also what benefits is like different methods of how you cook. Don't always go home and fry stuff. Like, you can try like stir fry it, like boil it, or any other like method other than just frying and adding that grease into your meal. And also like oil sprays or olive oil is better to use rather than the normal oil or butter that you would normally use.
So we have a video.
How do you make it?
These 5 biggest life adjustments you gotta make, like blood pressure, avoiding cigarettes and toxins, exercising 30 minutes a day, having an easy to love, healthy diet, and controlling the stress. You know, like these 5 life functions you've got to be able to control in order to change how we age, and they affect most of how we age. Let's start with the #1 driver of aging, blood pressure. This is a pretty good example for me of what most folks don't appreciate is happening in their body. These are 2 organs. The cholesterol can deposit in the wall of an artery. But when you're born, it's pristine like this. You see how the aorta is nice and clean, there's nothing on it at all. It's smooth and glistening, it's got a Teflon-like lining. The kidneys coming off are nice and big and plump. It's fantastic when you see it as a surgeon to see how beautiful the organ can be. Now compare this to what happens if you've got high blood pressure for your whole life. Look at this aorta. See how it's chewed through and rotten? You've got cracks all through it. It's rigid, no longer willing to bend. Look at the kidneys. They're shriveled and bent up compared to the kidneys we had before. It's that comparison that gets most people to say, my goodness, I didn't have any idea that could happen to my body. Now, I've got an animation to bring this alive, because these organs aren't alive. Look at this animation, and it brings into scope, into your vision, what's going on. There's a little yellowish plaque. It starts when you're very, very young, 18, 20 years of age. That plaque starts to grow in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. It gets large enough that at some point, when you're 47 years old, all of a sudden you have little ruptures. That rupture, that crack that happens inside of the artery is an open sore. Like any other cut in your body, you gotta heal it. You know, what do? You put a scab on it. That scab rapidly, over minutes, begins to enlarge, and all of a sudden, kaboom! You just saw the leading cause of death in the Western world. That's what a heart attack is. And that's petrifying when you first see it. But when you appreciate it, you control your health destiny because you can influence the chance that might happen to you. It changes the game dramatically. So, what does that really mean? Well, ultimately, it's about understanding what it is about blood pressure that leads to that heart attack that I showed and led to these organs that are all rotten over here. Well, imagine that you got this nice thin wall that's the coating of your artery, like I just showed you. This thin coating doesn't have anything to do with cholesterol or any other thing else that's going wrong in your body because you don't have to fix it. High blood pressure is like a hammer. It's like a hammer that's busting a hole inside of the artery. And once it's busted, you've got to fix this hole you have now. You've got 2 choices. You can use lousy, cheap spackling, and it doesn't do anything. No matter how much you put in there, it falls right out. It doesn't work. Or you can use high-quality spackling that gives you a nice repair. And although it's not going to be perfect, it's better than what you had before. And over time, you're going to begin to heal the wound up. Big challenge that a lot of folks have is not appreciating that the plaster is really the cholesterol in the body. That's fundamentally what it is. So if you don't have a hole, you don't have to fix it with your cholesterol, so it makes your cholesterol a much less important number. The other thing that scrapes up that inside lining is your blood sugar. So that's the number one issue on our list. It's high blood pressure. Number two on our list is cigarettes. You can't have any cigarettes or toxins in your life. Otherwise, you end up with this scenario. Here's an image of two lungs. Healthy on the one side and a smoking emphysematous lung on the other. You notice the emphysematous lung is dark, it's hard, it's chewed through. It's no longer that healthy, beautiful, elegant lung that's shown on the left here. The decreased ability to exchange carbon dioxide from oxygen hinders our ability to live a normal life. The toxic effect of the cigarette smoke can destroy otherwise healthy lung tissue. Number three way to get your body stronger and help you live longer is exercise 30 minutes a day. And as a doctor, I consider the ultimate killer for all of us is frailty. Now our bones will respond dramatically to the activity we're involved in. If we're doing the right kinds of things and exposing our bones to some weight-bearing exercise, it gets nice and strong and stays healthy. But if we're not exposing the bone to anything that's pushing us hard, then it's going to get weak. Because you know what? The bones rebuild themselves every 7 years. There's no reason to waste energy making strong bones if your bones aren't bearing any weight. That's why frailty is the number one driver of death for much of the world. Because if you're too weak to have strong bones, you're not going to ambulate. No other part of your body will stay strong either. So let me go over the list again. I got blood pressure, the number one driver of aging, right? Causes the heart attack talked about. I've got cigarettes and toxins as the number two driver of aging. I've got a exercise program of 30 minutes a day, being the minimum you should be able to achieve to avoid the third cause of aging. The number four driver of aging is that unhealthy diet, and you need to adopt a diet that you love and adore and will stay on for the rest of your life. And number five in my list of aging drivers that control most of how you age is stress. And it's not just avoiding stress, but knowing how to cope with stress. The best way to do that, in my experience, is to learn that deep belly breathing that you do what so many folks have been able to do for so many centuries. And this animation should bring this alive. A deep belly breath means that when you exhale, the stomach goes in. Why? Because your diaphragms, these orange, thick muscles beneath the lungs, would then push up and push the air out. As you inhale, the belly comes out, the diaphragm comes down, your lungs are therefore sucked down. Exhale, belly goes in. You're going to be able to do this with an 8-second cadence, 4 seconds to inhale completely, and 4 seconds to exhale completely when you suck your belly button towards your spine. Now here's my favorite. I've gone over the 5 major drivers of aging. I want you to take what you've learned from this video and tell one other person in your life to keep this fight.